I guess it makes sense that she wouldn't come here in uniform.
The charms of an older woman, eh?
I think I'll manage. Sorry I kept you waiting.
Don't worry about it. Oh.
Hi.
Yeah, I kind of ran into her on the way here and told her she could come along. That's not a problem, is it?
Not at all. I assume you've been surveying the town while acting as Rain's bodyguard?
Sounds like you've done your homework.
The intelligence division has told me a little. Anyway, I think we might attract a little too much attention if we stay at the counter. What do you say we get a table for 3? It's good to see you both. I think this may be the first time we've been able to have a proper conversation.
You may be right. I was hoping I'd get the chance to sit down and talk with you too, actually.
Oh?
You sure you don't want me to go?
That's not what I mean. I have a lot of questions, like about why Milliam transferred into our class, for example. But there's one really fundamental question that would go a long way toward answering a lot of the others. What exactly is it that you and Chancellor Osborne are trying to accomplish? Let's look at that standoff with the Provincial Army earlier this evening. It's hard for me to feel much sympathy for them after they drove armored cars right into the middle of the city. But maintaining order in the provinces is generally accepted to be the duty of the provincial armies. Maybe it's just me, but it seemed an awful lot like you were just trying to provoke them by belittling their authority.
It did look like your people were picking a fight.
Viewed without the proper context, I can see how it might look like that. But right now, the factional conflict in the Empire is nearly at its breaking point. Crossbell is buzzing with talk of independence, and Calvert is still weathering its immigration disputes. In such volatile times, there's a very real need to create a far more expansive network to help maintain public order. The only organizations that are up to the challenge are the Railway Military Police and the Intelligence Division.
That may be the case.
Still, your boss is the one making those conflicts worse.
I can't deny that, but at the very least, the Chancellor is acting with a sense of integrity. He hasn't stooped so low as to give aid to terrorists, unlike some others I could name. I want you to at least understand that.
Wait, so...
Wow, she really said it. So the noble faction's been the one backing the terrorists, huh?
I'm afraid there's no longer any doubting it. We've all but confirmed the involvement of Duke Cayenne, the most prominent representative of the 4 great houses. The 3 airships the Imperial Liberation Front have been using have been traced back to Ordis as well.
I'd wondered how they got their hands on those.
I've heard the Duke is just a gaudy old man, but Eustace's brother came to pick him up in Legram, didn't he?
That's what Toval told us. And now, Rufus just so happens to pop up on another of his secret trips. Captain Claire, what's going on in Ruhr? And how are Elisa's family and the Rhineford Company involved?
I guess it's time to get to the matter I called you here for in the first place. The Railway Military Police is currently weighing the possibility of a forced inspection of Rhineford's first factory.
Sounds serious.
The first factory belongs to one of Rhineford's major divisions, right?
Correct. It's one of the main divisions and handles the bulk of the company's iron and steel processing, among other things. They're also currently under suspicion of something I'm not at liberty to discuss with you right now. The 2 of you are aware that project management at Rhineford is split up across several major branches, right?
It is?
And on top of that, she's got her hands in the development of our Arcus units too. It's way too much work for one person. How many projects does Mother have under her wing right now?
Well, I'm afraid I can't give a simple answer to that. But suffice to say, the chairman only knows about a small number of the projects in development by the Rhineford Group. Well, lately, the directors have.
Come to think of it, I overheard Elisa and Sharon talking about something like that.
For years now, Rhineford has been the Empire's heavyweight when it comes to heavy industry and manufacturing. The company is split into different divisions that handle things like steel production, railways, weaponry, and tools. The problem is that those divisions have simply become too large. Large enough to have their own internal allegiances, some to the nobles, with others supporting the reformist faction.
Are you serious?
So even companies are taking sides.
I'm sure Irina Reinford is aware of this to at least some extent as the company's chairman, but the self-supporting accounting system she introduced has the side effect of granting each division a long leash. Because of that, I doubt even she has a full grasp of the situation.
So, the first factory you guys have your sights set on for that inspection is aligned with the noble faction, I assume.
You assume correctly. And the provincial army is doing everything it can to stop us from carrying out that investigation. That's what led to this evening's quarrel. I imagine Chairman Irina is currently doing her utmost to rein in all the divisions and get them back in line. The thing is, when she seized control of the company 5 years ago, she had to rely on support from both sides. Being indebted to them like that, I have my doubts she'll be able to target the underlying problem.
It's sounding shadier by the minute.
You can say that again. The situation seems even more dire than I thought. And while all this is going on, the factional conflict keeps burning hot across the rest of the Empire.
I've told you as much as I can right now. Tensions are mounting all over the country, but Ruhr has an extra fuse of its own. Try to gain an understanding of the crisis unfolding here. Then do your best to stay out of it. Whatever other lessons Class 7 takes away from this field study, I hope that ends up on the list. I wish you the best with the remainder of your field study. Please have the bill sent to the Railway Military Police Branch Office in Ruhr Station.
Certainly. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Wait! The bill! But by then, that memorable evening was approaching its end.
Reen? Elise?
Claire?
Good evening, Captain. You must be exhausted.
Oh, well, it's not as though I performed on stage in front of an auditorium full of people or anything. I really enjoyed your concert, by the way. That's the kind of thing that makes me proud to be an alumnus.
Wait, what? You're a student here?
That's right. I was part of the Academy's 216th graduating class. And since you'll be part of its 221st, I suppose that makes me 5 years your senior.
I had no idea. Why didn't you mention it until just now?
Given that we only ever met while you were on your field studies, it didn't seem pertinent. Besides, once people graduate, they tend to leave their ties to their school behind. Especially here at Thor's.
Because it's a military academy?
Exactly. Roughly 40% of the graduates here go on to join the military. Not always the same branch or even the same army. About 30% join the Imperial Army, and 10% go to a provincial force. Students who are best friends one day might find themselves enemies the next.
Reen.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kill your happy mood like this. But I'm sure you're well aware of what may lie ahead. That we're teetering on the brink of an era of upheaval.
I'm aware.
Does this have something to do with the issues in Crossfell I've been hearing about?
Yes, amongst other things. It seems as though everyone on the continent is ready to go to war with everyone else. But that's why it's so important that we're able to stand strong no matter what happens. Though, judging by how well Class 7 has performed on their field studies, I'm sure you'll all be fine in that regard. Here's hoping that I get the chance to help you out again sometime. Even if I'll have to be careful not to draw the ire of that instructor of yours while I'm doing so.
I'm just glad to know that you have her back. Thank you for that.
You're quite well... Please, excuse me a moment. Yes, Revelt speaking. Mm-hmm. What?
What's going on?
And you're certain of this? Understood. I'll return at once. Yes, I will escort them back to Valflame Palace myself. I'm afraid I have to excuse myself.
I'm really sorry, Elise. My brothers requested that we return to Heimdall right away. But as we're going back by car, I thought I'd offer you a ride home. But...
Elise, I think you should go back with them for now. I'll call you later to make sure you're okay.
Well, all right.
Sorry to drop this on you so quickly, Reen. I'm sure someone from the Academy will fill you in shortly.
Fill me in? On what?
If you'll excuse us.
Don't worry. We'll be sure to get Elise back to the Academy safely.
What just happened? Who the...
I've taken out the commander's sensor. What's the situation with Zephyr?
Both are standing by at 5 o'clock. No signs of movement.
Acknowledged. Ignore them for now. Focus your attention on the highway instead.
Yes, ma'am.
If she can aim that precisely from that far away, we're likely in her sights too. The Icy Maiden has certainly earned her reputation.
Wouldn't want to try my luck against her. Not right now, anyway. Not much we can do while she's all the way over there. Besides, I think it's about time we called it a day. We're taking off, Fee. See you some other time, okay?
Be sure to keep up with your training. You'll need it if you want to make it through this war unscathed.
I thought it was you.
Looks like you're from the Railway Military Police. Then you must be...
It's a pleasure to see you again, Captain.
Likewise. And yes, sir. I'm Captain Claire Revelt of the RMP. It sounds as though we have plenty to discuss. Perhaps in a more fitting location. Follow me, if you would. Well, in that case, how would you like me to accompany you?
You, Captain?
Are you sure?
You're currently using Ymir as your base of operations, correct? Not only could I use my knowledge to better fortify it, I could also handle communications with other regions from there. This could be a good chance to reach out and find Milliam as well. I haven't been able to contact her since the war broke out.
Oh. Works for me. To be blunt, Ymir's borders are wide open, and the Alliance could take advantage of that at any time. We can't have another incident like with the Jaegers. Bringing her back just might be our best defense right now.
I hate to admit it, but you're right. There's a limit to how much we can do. At the end of the day, we're students. We need to swallow our pride and take help where it's given, especially from specialists like the two of you. More important than all of that, I know we can trust you.
You're right.
Exactly.
Captain Claire, we'd be honored to accept your kind offer. Welcome to the team.
The pleasure's all mine. In addition to my duties as a member of the RMP, I hereby pledge my support to everyone in Class 7. Sorry to keep you waiting for so long.
Oh.
You're not in uniform.
I'd be something of a walking target if we were to travel to any Alliance-ruled areas dressed like that, after all. This outfit doesn't look too strange on me, does it?
No, absolutely not.
You just look so different in it that it took me a moment to recognize it was you.
Yeah, it really suits you.
Thank you very much.
Feel like I'm surrounded by horny teenagers all of a sudden.
Can't blame a guy for falling for a pretty girl, Fee. It's what we do.
I think this is one mystery about humans I'm content not trying to get my head around.
You're all ready to depart then?
Suppressing targets. Mirror devices activate. Orbital laser fire. Reen.
Captain Claire? I didn't think anyone else would come here so late at night. Sorry, I'll get out now.
No, you don't need to do that. You were here first, after all. Truth be told, I didn't think anyone else would be here so late either. Still. While a meeting like this may purely be a coincidence, it could also be a good chance for us to sit and have a nice talk. Regardless, it's pretty cold out here, so I'm getting in before I get any colder.
Okay.
The open-air baths in the middle of winter are wonderful, aren't they? I'm usually one to settle for a quick shower, but this is so relaxing that I can barely bring myself to get out.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's my favorite time of the year to relax in the springs, too. That aside, I mean, it's an honor to have the chance to share the spring with a lady like you, but...
There's no need to be so flustered. It wasn't all that long ago that I was a Thor student myself, you know. Just think of me as another classmate. And fellow classmates help wash each other's backs. So how about it? Would you like me to help wash yours?
No, that's quite all right. And besides, underclassmen are the ones who are supposed to help wash the upperclassmen's backs, so that makes no sense. I mean, not that I specifically want to or anything, I just,
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be teasing you like this, should I? Not when I stayed in to offer you my congratulations.
Thank you? May I ask what for?
I think you've earned it after all you've done. I've been impressed by you time and time again ever since we met. You were able to survive the terrible battle in Trista. You braved the many challenges you've had to face since. And you were able to reunite with your classmates, like Milliam. That they are all gathered together here is a testament to your efforts, Reen.
I think you're giving me too much credit. It was only thanks to everyone's support, yours included, that I was able to do anything at all.
Please. I barely did anything to aid you at all. And I don't think I'm giving you too much credit. Class 7 is only how it is because you're the one at its center. They all believed that you would rise up and fight. And that's why each and every one of them are here today. You should be proud of what you've achieved, Reen. Reen? I'm sorry, did I say something strange?
Oh, no, I wasn't laughing at you. It just finally hit home that everything Elise said was true. I had no idea that everyone was thinking of me as much as they were, or that so many people were looking out for me. It just made me realize all over again how blind I've been all this time. So I couldn't help but laugh at myself.
If laughing at yourself helps, then by all means, but I don't think you need to beat yourself up over it. Still, it wouldn't hurt to always keep those thoughts at the back of your mind in the future. You've forged many amazing friendships since all this began, and they're not the kinds that can be easily broken. That goes for me, too.
I'll be sure to always remember. Now that Class 7 is together again, I'm sure we'll be able to go back to the Academy one day. As long as we don't give up, I know we can make that a reality, both for ourselves and for the people who have supported us in getting this far.
That's the way, and I'll be right there with you. Reen, I'd like you to accept this. I hope that it will prove to be of some use to you in the challenges ahead.
Thank you, Captain. You've done so much for us, especially in Ymir. I can't begin to thank you enough for helping to protect my hometown.
You needn't thank me. I just did what I felt was right. I wish you all the best in the future. Not as a member of the RMP, but as a graduate of Thor's military academy.
Thank you. We'll do all that we can to meet your expectations.
Yowza! Things are getting nice and steamy over there, huh?
Oh?
Uh-oh.
I feel like I'm losing in the race for most reliable big sister figure all of a sudden.
Sorry about that, Valimar. Can't imagine it was a very pleasant trip for you, all bound up like that.
It did not present a problem. I will now enter an inactive state and allow the mechanics to perform maintenance.
Thanks. Well then, I'll leave him with you.
Sure thing. We'll take good care of him.
By the way, it's a real honor to be entrusted with the famous Ashen Knight.
Welcome back, Reen. You must be exhausted.
Not really. I barely did anything. Everything went off without a hitch, mostly thanks to Valamar's power. Not to mention the planning of your people.
You're annoyed, I take it, by the way we do things.
Not really. Regardless of the means, the war coming to a swift end was a good thing for everyone. As for what happened to Crossbell, I'm not in any position to talk. No, those aren't what bother me. I can buy that you had no idea Rufus was an Ironblood. But did you really not know about my real father?
I didn't have any hard evidence, but I did suspect that might be the case. You just seemed somehow similar. The air about you, your facial features. I was always puzzled by how fascinated he was by your class as well.
I see. Excuse me then.
Right. That wasn't the only reason I worried about you, you know. Not that I could possibly tell him that.
Huh. Now there's a familiar voice.
Elise, Your Highness!
Wow. What did we do to deserve this honor?
Reen, Toval, it's wonderful to see you both again. I must say, I wasn't expecting to find the two of you here. Alone.
Moving right past that, what brings you out here?
Well, when I spoke to you yesterday, you sounded a little despondent. Which is what prompted me to tell her if she was that worried, she should come and pay you a visit.
I can see why Elise would come here, but I'm surprised you decided to accompany her.
You've got to be two of the most fearless young ladies in Erebonia. Although with the third most fearless young lady in Erebonia as an escort, I'm sure you've got nothing to worry about.
I'm honored you would say so. It's good to see you again, Tova.
Likewise. We're not exactly on the same side these days, but there's no need to let that stop us from being friendly off the clock.
I'd like nothing more, honestly. Oh, I assure you my accompanying them was purely by coincidence.
Oh, I know. If anything, I'm the one who's putting you out. I seem to be the reason they came here, after all.
I never once thought you were putting me out, so don't worry. I did wonder whether it might be best to stay out of your sight, truth be told.
Please, don't think like that. I was the one at fault, not you. I really am sorry, though. I was being so childish.
Not at all. If I hadn't been so self-righteous, I'm truly sorry.
It looks like another formidable foe has entered the fray. Your Highness, please!
Reen, I swear, you're a damn magnet for trouble when it comes to women.
Well, this sure is an odd place for everyone to be hanging out in the middle of the day. Don't even worry about that. But hey, since you made me worry about you, you owe me some ice cream.
Well, I suppose that does sound good about now. Why don't you join us, Reen? Even if it's not quite enough to repay you for your help.
Entirely by chance, I assure you.
It's good to see you, Reen. And Class 7, too. No, he has a point. I've heard about you two. You're the new members of Class 7, aren't you? Ash Carbide and Muse Egret. I came here to discuss security measures for the Imperial Provincial Council. But we've just finished our meeting, so I should be on my way. If you would excuse me, Brigadier General, Patrick.
Of course. Thank you for your time.
Do remember to keep a close eye on the Marquis.
Yes, understood.
I'd heard the rumors, but it seems the crossbow situation is more chaotic than I'd even imagined.
This is a surprise.
Is that a mirror device? Huh. So you're in town.
Yes. Off duty, of course.
Major Claire!
Nice. You sure look good in civilian clothes.
Good evening, Reen. And to you two as well, Sarah, Angelica. I stopped your perpetrator here, but maybe I overdid it a tad? Show
Who's
yourself.
there?
Michael, Major Irving, is my cousin. He was born Michael Revelt. We were, once. But 10 years ago, he took his mother's surname and abandoned the name Revelt. It was after I had the man who took my family away executed. That man was my uncle. His father. Perhaps you're familiar with the Revelt Company? They're known for making musical instruments. Well, they were originally located in St. Arc. My father was the president, and my uncle the vice president. The company was doing well, but more importantly, our family was happy. Until an horrible car accident. There weren't many of them on the roads back then. A stolen truck crashed into us. Then its driver disappeared into the night. In the end, they never found him. It became a cold case. My parents and my little brother died in that accident. But by some miracle, I survived, and my uncle's family took me in. After my father's death, my uncle took control of the company. Though I was grateful to him for taking me in, I couldn't help but ask myself, why was I the only one to survive? Soon after that, while looking through my father's things, I found the account books. Flipping through them, I noticed something strange. The Revelt Company prided itself on offering high-quality, carefully crafted instruments at an affordable price. But certain entries showed unbelievable spikes in profits. I had a feeling something was wrong, so I looked a little deeper. Each account book I read put things in starker relief. At last, I realized what my uncle had been doing right under my father's nose. He was making a fortune selling cheap, mass-produced instruments from abroad under the Revelt Company name. He even had the gall to commission a product he could sell as Maestro class to scam people out of even more money. I knew Father must have noticed his brother's wrongdoing and planned to question him. But before he could, the accident took his life. When I confronted my uncle about this, he was surprisingly candid. "You've got no proof. And if you did have any, I've got several powerful nobles ready to back me up should it come to that. Even if you talk, the most suspicious part of that accident is that you're the lone survivor. Good luck getting anyone to listen to you." I was angry, yes. But more than that, I was heartbroken. I didn't know what to do with myself. Until he showed up.
I was a friend of your father's in military school. I thought the accident seemed peculiar. Do forgive me for allowing you to suffer for so long on your own.
Somehow, he knew the truth behind the accident. But the fact that I knew took him aback for a moment. Until he said,
You have a gift. Enhanced cognition. It allows you to grasp every detail, great or small, of any given situation in an instant. It must have awakened during the accident. I was going to mete out the murderer's punishment myself, but I've changed my mind. You have the means and the ability. Why not use them to avenge your family?
I was petrified when I heard this, lost. All I could see were the smiling faces of my parents and my beloved little brother. That's when I decided to take His Excellency's advice. I gathered every last scrap of evidence I could find against my uncle. I laid everything bare. The plot, the motive, the cover-up, the perpetrator. I had too much evidence to be silenced. I made my voice louder and louder until it reached Marquis Higharm's ears. Soon after, the nobles protecting my uncle stepped aside. My uncle's judgment was swift, harsh, and fair. He was put to death for his actions. I had my revenge. But it came at a price. I lost my family and my hometown. As soon as the company was in my control, I gave the rights to a longtime employee. All so I could enroll in the military academy suggested by His Excellency. All so I could enroll in Thor's. You're right. It was sheer coincidence that we both joined the RMP. But he's always looked out for me, both as a superior officer and as a colleague. Not that I've ever felt like I deserved it. I gave in to my desire for vengeance and mercilessly sent my own uncle to his death. 10 years ago, my aunt and my cousins cursed my name as I robbed them of the man they loved. I imagine they must still hate me for what I did. Rain. Oh, you really are too kind. To be perfectly honest, you remind me of my brother. Emil. His name was Emil. If he were alive, I think he'd be about your age. Thank you for hearing me out. But I think tonight is the last time I'll compare you to my brother. It's disrespectful, both to him and to the man you've become. Good night, Rain. Sweet dreams. I know His Excellency isn't a normal person, but I believe somewhere deep down he still cares for you.
Huh?
Myself, Lecter, Milliam, likely even Rufus as well. His Excellency has personally lent his help to each of us. It's possible he thought of us as a replacement for you.
Thank you. I'll try to sort through all this, somehow.
Rain! Instructor Rain!
What the heck?
A four-way link!
Is this some special ability unique to the Ironbloods?
Don't hesitate, Eustace!
Reen, let's do it too!
Yeah. Combat link, activate!
Reen, Yuna, I'm sorry things turned out this way. I know you have your reasons, so please don't hold back. Instructor Claire.
What happened to Ash was bad enough, but now the little one's in an even worse spot. If you manage to get through us, do me a favor and rescue her, would ya?
You... Don't worry. We'll show you just what we can do. Are you ready, Milliam?
You betcha! I'm not gonna go easy on you. Reen, Eustace, Machias, Elliot, you guys better not let up either.
Of course we won't! Class 7 will reach its destination!
Our song of victory will ring out! Now!
Go, Reen! Take the new Class 7 with you!
Got it! Let's move!
No. We need to handle things here.
Yeah. All the old folks down there can take care of the rest.
Man, I'm booped. You can go take a rest too, Lammy.
Milliam.
Claire, Lecter.
This may be a selfish decision on my part, but I'd like to see what my younger brother is capable of.
I'll show you exactly that, Rufus! We'll help out too!
Arcus, activate! We'll do all we can to support you!
I had a feeling you'd show up.
Toa! Your Highness!
Class 7. Thank goodness. It seems we've made it in time.
Reen, you're okay. And everyone else too, and...
Sup, Toa? How's life been treating you? Me? Well, you know how it is. Anyway, looks like I'm back with the gang now.
Crow... I can't believe it. It's really you. Wait, Reen? What happened to your hair? Oh, what am I saying? What matters is that you're all right. I felt this odd sensation earlier, like I was connecting with you somehow. I thought maybe it was just my imagination.
It wasn't. You may not have realized it, but you were there for me when I needed it most. I'll explain everything later, after we get both of you out of here.
Oh? Didn't anyone ever tell you it was rude to make plans without a lady's consent?
Not as rude as taking them captive, wouldn't you say, Jellica? Or would you prefer I call you Red Rosevice?
That is indeed who I am now. And you are the one they once called Siegfried, no? Your sweet nothings won't work on me, but I do appreciate you bringing that delicious little Duchess along with you.
Oh, you flatter me.
She still acts like the same old Angelica. That's gonna make this tough.
That's right. I was talking to her earlier and she acts more or less the same.
Oh, don't you worry, my dear little fawn. After this, we can talk through the night. Just the two of us.
Oh, come on, Angie! I know it's you!
It has been far too long, Class 7. You've done well to make it here. You, especially, Machias. Though it seems you're well in excess of your jurisdiction as a member of the Inspectorate.
Yes, I'm well aware. But As a member of the Inspectorate, there are still certain legal channels I can follow in an emergency situation. You hold here against their will a civilian, Toa Herschel, and the Empress of Erebonia herself. I'd say a situation like that more than warrants a full and comprehensive inspection. Surely you understand as much yourself, Carl Regnitz. So why? Even if not by your own hand, your compliance belies your guilt. The Carl Regnitz I know would never just blindly obey the government's whims without even so much as a...
It is precisely because he refused to comply that Governor Regnitz was transferred here to Ordis.
No way.
Major Reveld.
I'm sure I'm the last person you want to have explaining this to you, but Governor Regnitz has been vocally opposed to the war since the Great Twilight's inception, after which he led an official protest of the National Mobilization Law at City Hall. In fact, he even went so far as to claim that the Republic played no part in the assassination attempt whatsoever. But in the end, no matter how hard he tried to expose the facts, that truth fell on deaf ears. His supporters experienced sudden changes of heart or were lost to inexplicable misconceptions. Others still ended up hospitalized, having fallen prey to sudden accidents. Not one of these was the Intelligence Division's handiwork. Each and every account seemed nothing more than pure coincidence.
But that means it can only be...
The Great Twilight. The greatest curse ever known. A force that can bend even fate itself to its will.
You've all noticed, right? How strange everyone started acting all over the Empire? But beyond the obvious is some invisible force, subtly twisting the Empire onto a path of destruction. Its effects have become most apparent in the army, as well as the government.
So, it's gotten that bad, huh?
Dad, is this true?
I cannot say either way. All I've done is acted in accordance with my own convictions. Should I find my efforts have backfired, it can only point to my own failings as a politician. Under the National Mobilization Law, the Imperial government temporarily absorbed all administrative authority over Heimdall. As such, I've been sent all the way out here to oversee Ordis. Everything happening now is because I simply wasn't capable enough.
Governor Regnitz. So the curse forced this fate on you before you knew it.
Wielding political authority means accepting the facts, and the consequences that stem from them. And the fact of the matter is that the city of Ordis, including this estate, is under my jurisdiction for the time being. Therefore, you'll have to convince me, under pretense of your inspection, that you are qualified to take custody of my 2 charges. That way, neither of us will be abandoning our duties.
Dad, you're really...
So that was your plan all along, huh?
The governor's obligations and opinions are in no way the same as mine. Further, custody of Miss Herschel and the Empress is the Imperial Defense Force's duty. However, all of Class 7 are fugitives by law. Restraining you is my responsibility as a member of the RMP, my duty as an officer. But more than that, it's my role as an Ironblood, as a vessel for this terrible curse.
Just like we saw in the Grawl.
This is the power granted to us by Chancellor Osborne, the mark of the Ironblood. It allows us to draw power from the energy of the Great Twilight itself. But its effect goes beyond merely boosting our battle capabilities. The Governor's failings, Operation Birdcage, all such events were brought forth by this power of ours.
You mean...
That's how you carried out Operation Birdcage?
The SSS, Yin, the Divine Blade of Wind, all of them are skilled fighters in their own right.
No matter how numerous my forces or how adept my command, do you really think I'd have even the slightest chance of cornering them if I didn't have this power?
I thought it was strange.
Back then, even I wasn't fully aware of it. But now I can harness its energy at will. And with its aid, I can easily stop you in your tracks. Class 7, I hereby place you all under arrest. You may attempt to carry out your inspection if you so please. You're free to take Ms. Herschel and the Empress with you and go. In the unlikely event you're able to kill me.
Oh, what a pitiable yet captivating spectacle. Like a glacier she stands, solid and steadfast, yet her heart lies frozen by sorrow. Mesmerizing in her frailty, apt as all ice is to shatter at a moment's touch.
What would you know about me, Roseweiss? Your memories have been wiped clear.
Perhaps so, but through a beautiful damsel's eyes lie the depths of her soul. It makes my chest tighten to see her, the icy maiden within you melting into tears.
Major Claire.
Even without her memories, Jellica hasn't lost her touch.
Major Claire, I was told Major Lecter said something when he fought the others, not too long ago. He mentioned the grief and guilt he felt after losing Milliam, and how the two of you would put things right.
Back in Crossbell.
A moment ago, you said we'd need to kill you to rescue Toa and the Empress. The only thing that tells me is that you're all too willing to die. It's just as Roseweiss said. It hurts my heart to see you acting so pathetic. Milliam didn't sacrifice herself so you could use her as an excuse. Fight for yourself, for your own reasons, even if you have the power of the Great Twilight on your side. I don't intend to lose. Not to this melting imitation of the Icy Maiden.
Whoa, not bad.
You actually got through to her.
Such a dastardly way with words you have, Instructor.
What a cheesy-ass speech.
Ha! And so, the indomitable ice cracks. But like a knight upon her shining steed, I shall come to all these fair maidens' aid.
You've got some nerve calling yourself a knight in front of me.
I relish the opportunity to test my mettle against a master of the Taito school. Very well. I will use Milliam as an excuse no longer. I am a member of the Ironbloods and an officer of the RMP. As such, I will use whatever force necessary to apprehend you.
Come at us then!
Your Highness, Miss Herschel, please keep a safe distance.
Understood.
Reen, Crow, you can do it!
I won't hold back.
The flames of passion. It's no wonder at all you were able to melt through.
Ah! Angie!
Toa? Crow? George!
Wait. The hell? That was her, right? The real her?
Those damn masks. Jellica! Hey, Angelica Rogner! Snap out of it already!
Angelica? No, I'm... Red Roseweiss.
That's wrong. It's nothing more than a part you were made to play.
Find yourself, Angelica! You need to break free!
You can do it, Angie! Please, come back to us!
Angelica!
Angie, are you okay?
I'm not sure, Toa. I think I might need you to give me another little squeeze. It was so hard to see that adorable face of yours through that mask. I'll need to get a nice long look now that I can see clearly again.
Jellica, it's you!
You got your memories back.
Angie! Thank Adios. Thank the goddess you're yourself again. You have no clue how worried I was. Ever since you disappeared,
Maybe I should disappear more often. How could I ever have forgotten this lovely scent? It felt like I was living a nightmare. But I guess I must have died and gotten to heaven in the arms of an angel.
Oh yeah, she's back all right.
I'm glad to see there were no lasting effects on her personality or memories. It seems it was the mask itself that was forcing her to play the role.
Sure wasn't like that for me. Guess old George didn't follow through.
Perhaps he simply couldn't bring himself to. But then again, maybe I'm no different.
Major Claire.
Do you still intend to fight?
Without our Iron Horsemen, I stand at a disadvantage. Unfortunately, it would seem I have failed in my mission.
Major Revelt. Then I take it you're just about finishing up here.
Huh?
General.
For those of you with whom I am yet unacquainted, allow me to introduce myself. Zex Vander, General of the 3rd Armored Division. Schwarzer, Class 7, I do hope you've been well.
It's been a while. Congratulations on your promotion.
What are you doing here? You're supposed to be stationed at the Naval Fortress.
What, you here to arrest us? Doesn't seem like it.
Very sharp. As a matter of fact, I'm here to investigate the situation. The Heimdall military police are starting to chatter about some trouble at the Cayenne estate.
I apologize for the disturbance, General. It was under my personal command that the situation fell out of control. I will have all units within the estate withdraw immediately and give the order for the Imperial Defense Force to return to base. Forgive me, but may I leave the rest to you?
You may.
Major Claire.
So you're gonna let us off the hook for now?
With war on the horizon, the last thing we want is news of a domestic dispute to surface. As it stands, only the RMP, IDF, and Intelligence Division have orders to apprehend you. Maneuvering around those groups will be your only hope going forward.
Are you?
Sure you should be giving us tips like that, Icy Maiden?
More a word of warning, I assure you. I will not be so charitable next we meet. Governor Regnitz, I apologize for the disruption. Your Highness, Toa, my sincerest apologies for inconveniencing you. Angelica, I'm glad you were able to recover your memories. And Reen, I just wanted to say how happy No, pardon me.
Major Claire.
Poor gal. It's clear she's burying her feelings.
Indeed, so deep that the pressure may very well crush her in the end.
There has to be something we can do. No. We'll find a way.
So you came after all.
Stop it! How can you be so cruel? I stood by and let Milliam die. I'm still going along with the Great Twilight. Don't you dare forgive me. If you don't hate me, how am I supposed to?
Come on now, Claire. You know that isn't fair. I'm not gonna make a mistake like that again. Even with what's happened, I'm still an Ironblood. I've gotta look out for you, too. Tomorrow, we'll finally settle things once and for all. With you, Lecter, Rufus, Gramps, and that newbie Prince, too. Me and Reen will get through to you guys.
All right, if you insist. I'll be waiting for you. That's my promise as a knight and guardian of the Great Twilight and a pawn of the rivalries. When next we meet, I won't show any mercy.
Sup, guys?
We've been waiting for you.
Instructor Claire.
You seem pretty sure we'd show up.
The odds were about 50-50. After all, you'd have to get past the Glorious, the Ions, and disable all the salt pails. If it were anyone else, I'd give them maybe a 1 in 1,000 chance. Nah, maybe more like a 1 in 10,000.
And despite the odds, you managed to succeed. Perhaps it was fate.
It's not fate. It was all thanks to our determination.
Milliam.
Wow. Guess the rumors were true. You really threw us for a loop at the Grawl, huh?
Yep, but it was super hard pulling one over on you two. Especially you, Lecter. I really had to get clever. And by that, I mean I snuck off while Eustace and Rufus were fighting.
I'm amazed you managed to pull that off with everything that was going on.
You really got us, Milliam. But I guess we only have ourselves to blame.
Yes. Among the Ironbloods, Milliam was always the quickest to learn and adapt. Meanwhile, we were each trapped in our pasts. We had no choice but to accept the curse. We even treated Altina as if she was nothing more than a tool to be discarded.
Claire!
Major Claire.
If you feel that way, why do you still insist on standing in our path? Not as the Ironbloods, but as the Knights of Blood and Iron.
Those whose fates are intertwined with the curse of Erebonia. Its keepers. The keepers whose fate is to fall in this tragic fairy tale called the Great Twilight.
Yeah, that's our job. Our final role, so to speak. We're the conduits linking the fires of war below to this fortress. There's no way you're gonna win against us, unless you bring out your Divine Knights.
The curse has linked them to the fortress itself.
The path further into the fortress won't open unless you defeat us. Throw everything you have into this fight. Your Divine Knights, Panzer Soldats, everything. Defeat us here, and perhaps you stand a chance of putting out the flames of war.
Major Claire.
Why?
Fine. We'll fight you if we must. But we don't need the Divine Knights or the Soldats to beat you. In fact, we won't even need our entire group.
Go ahead and use whatever powers you're getting from the fortress or the curse or whatever. Doesn't matter how determined you guys are. We're gonna break through.
That's right. Your determination will never match ours. Because you're both so focused on your past mistakes, while we look to the future.
Ouch.
Nice one.
She's right, Instructor Claire!
There is no honor in fighting foes who have already given up.
So come on, show us what you really believe in.
Okay. I'll give this everything I have.
All right then. Guess it's time for me to get serious.
Good luck, everyone! Claire and Lecter, give it your all, too!
Told ya.
The war below has greatly amplified the fortress's power. After we linked to it, you should have had no chance of victory.
Man, you're really beating the odds today, aren't you?
That's right. After all, we defeated the Jaeger King and the Steel Maiden.
Learning and growing are both part of being young. And I'm right there with you guys.
Keep telling yourself that.
If anyone can make it to the end, it's you guys.
Defeating us has opened up the path ahead for you. There's not much more I can do now besides wish you luck.
Altina!
Okay.
Now, Instructor Claire. None of that.
We thought it might come to this.
Damn. How'd you guys know?
Though the two of you may have built your reputations on being inscrutable,
you were fairly predictable this time.
The way you are now, you couldn't bluff your way out of a paper bag.
You lost. Just accept it and move on. Take some time to rest, you know?
You're right. That might be best.
We're going to go on ahead now. But you two also need to see this through to the end. Erebonia is going to need you both after we've put an end to the Great Twilight.
Yeah! You gotta do your best for me too, okay?
Rain... Miriam... When you put it like that, I guess I've got no choice.
Sheesh. You guys are really asking a lot of us. But you're not in the clear yet. The Crown Prince and the Sanguine Ogre are waiting. You're the only ones who can put a stop to this. Good luck, guys.